What is going on, everybody? We're back with some more Marvel Snap, another featured location today. We want to talk about a new location that dropped. It is called the Raft. And the way the Raft works is what it reads is a little bit different from how it actually works. So the text on it says, whenever this location is filled first, that player draws a 6-card cost. It costs 0. So the text reads as if you're drawing a 6-cost card from your deck. However, that is not the way it works in practice. What it actually does is whoever fills up the location first gets a random 6-cost card added to their hand, and it costs 0. So the obvious cards, besides playing a decent amount of early curve options so that you can fill out the Raft as early as possible, so playing a good amount of 1-drops and 2-drops and things like that, the other things that you're going to want to do are things that summon tokens. So if you're a deck that can take advantage of Squirrel Girl, Mysterio, those are 2 great cards to go wide without even knowing which location the Raft is potentially in. Other great options include Mr. Sinister and Brood. Brood is really the champion of the Raft. With Brood, you just have to play one other card there, and you filled it up with just 2 cards. I think best way to take advantage of the Raft and what I've been doing so far is, to be honest, a Patriot deck. And the reason for that is Patriot decks already run Squirrel Girl. They can run Mysterio, although not all of them do. Many of them run Brood, and even if yours doesn't, I would say fit Brood in for this featured location. Many of them run Wasp. Wasp is a 0 energy card, so you can play that out with additional cards early. And it's just a pretty easy way to make sure that you are the one always winning the Raft. But just winning the Raft isn't always good enough. But the reason why you want to make sure to win the Raft, and I don't know if it is a certain pool of cards it's pulling from, or if it's pulling from all 6-drops, or if it's only 6-drops from like pool 1 and below, I don't know. But I've received I would say a disproportionate amount of Spectrum, Hulk, and Onslaught from the Raft. Now, that could have just been a small sample size of particular luck that I was seeing. But all 3 of those cards are good to great in Patriot decks. Spectrum being the worst one because it buffs your Mystique, your Patriot, and your Onslaught. But getting a free Onslaught or getting a Hulk for free is obviously just busted in a Patriot deck. So I've been playing a ton of Patriot just because the cards that you want to play to take advantage of the Raft and to make sure you win the Raft are cards that you're running in a Patriot deck anyway. Other things you could potentially do, I've seen some players just kind of ignoring the Raft. It's more so like the negative players where they have such a powerful enough deck anyway. I think besides Patriot, I think Patriot is the hands down best. I think the second best would arguably be like the Beast Falcon bounce deck, just because that deck runs kind of a critical mass of 1-drops, and then you can always Falcon or Beast to pull back out of the Raft after you get your free 6-drop, and then kind of divvy your power up elsewhere afterwards, because that is the one downside of the Raft, is if you're not playing a Patriot deck and you just dump 4 1-drops on the Raft, you've kind of punted a location for a free 6-drop. So decks that can either buff the cards there, like if you have a good start with like a Wong-going deck, the Raft could be kind of a competitive spot for you as well. I just don't think any deck in the game can compete with a Patriot deck that draws halfway decently in terms of winning the Raft. So yeah, I think Patriot is number 1. Number 2, I would probably say would be that Beast Falcon bounce deck. And then number 3, it could be any number of other decks that I don't think anyone else fights for the Raft quite as well as those 2 decks do. You could also just play decks that can use free 6-drops. Obviously, any deck can use a free 6-drop, but you want to probably make sure that you have at least a couple ongoing cards in your deck for the potential Spectrums. Keep in mind the Infinite type plays. There's a lot of different things you can do. It's hard to have your deck synergize with all of the 6-drops, which is why I think Patriot is just the clear choice, is it both wins the raft easily and enjoys a lot of the 6-drops it can be pulling. So that's just a little bit about the raft. This is not a complex location, but I think it's one of the most fun locations we've gotten recently. So I'm enjoying this one quite a bit. Let me know what you guys think of the new location, and if you're doing anything else to take advantage of this location or decks that play into it that I haven't already discussed. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. Thank you guys all very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.